Hey sweet friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have some really fun, cute farmhouse DIYs that I'm really liking how they turned out, and I think that you will like them as well. Today I'm making a few easier DIYs than I usually make. These were so simple put together. I put all of these together in just a few minutes and they turned out really cute, so I really hope that you enjoy them. I do want to give a huge thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later on in the video, but let's go ahead and jump into crafting because I can't wait to show you how these turned out. For this DIY, I'm using a couple of different picture frames. I'm actually using this 11 by 14 that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and these are the largest frames I think that they sell. And then I picked out just a beautiful little print that I really liked. I am going to be using this little jar print, so I am going to go ahead and take that out and set that to the side. But I am not going to be using any of the glass from these photo frames, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that to the side as well. I want these frames to be exactly the same color, so I'm going to come in with some of my steel color, and I'm going to do like a farmhouse galvanized kind of distressing look. So after painting this a couple coats with the steel color, I am going to dry brush over this with the darker elephant color, just to give this two tones and make it look really pretty and rustic. This DIY turned out way different than I had it envisioned in my head. I thought that I was just going to use the glass and maybe try to put that print behind one of the glass pieces, but then I decided after I liked the brown of the craft paper poking through beside the gray, so that kind of inspired me to use some burlap for the backing. And then after I couldn't use glass in the back photo frame, I decided to go ahead and leave it out in the front just so they matched and nothing was super shiny and it wouldn't glare weird in the light. I don't want this just to look like a picture from Dollar Tree glued on top of another picture, so I'm trying to make everything blend in and look really nice. So I use my heat gun. It helps to dry my crafts really quickly. I'll link that down below, but it is very helpful while crafting. So to add the burlap backing, I didn't have any rolls of burlap that I liked, so I'm gonna just use these burlap sheets that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. These were $1.99. They were on sale, so they were just a tad bit over $1, but I decided that there wasn't enough of the material to cover the entire backing, and I didn't want this just to have a weird seam at the bottom, so I decided to just pull out two of them and then cut them so they will meet in the center, and then I can definitely use the excess and save it for future projects. I know that burlap fabric soaks in a ton of anything that you're painting on there, whether that is real paint or just the Mod Podge, so always expect to add a ton, like I say, if you are painting or just gluing this down. So I am using Mod Podge and this jar was almost out, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off with this. You definitely can add water if you want to water it down or use some kind of spray adhesive so that you wouldn't have to use all of your Mod Podge, but there wasn't as much in this jar as it looks like. I'm just scraping the edges and trying to use every last drop in there, but I go ahead and paint that all over this because I do want to push it down onto the backing. And not only is this gluing this down, but applying that much Mod Podge also gives it like a nice finish, so it turns really hard and it'll be perfect for a decor piece because I'll be able to wipe it down and it will last a lot longer having this protective coating on there. So I go ahead and put it back in the largest frame, and I just wasn't loving how it fit in there. It was kind of loose and warped a little bit, so I am going to be hot gluing the back a little bit later and then adding some detail around the edging. And then I go ahead and use my little art piece and put it back in the smaller frame and then center that just to see how it looks. And then to cover those gaps from the frame to the burlap, I do go ahead and hot glue down some nautical rope. I'm using the Dollar Tree rope and just gonna try to apply as small glue as I can near the edges so that nothing bubbles out. Dollar Tree is always putting out tons of new art like this that is so pretty but just kind of looks cheaper in the smaller frame. So the point of this DIY is just to try to make it a larger piece so that it looks more high-end by being bigger than just staying in that small little cheap frame. And usually whenever I pull the backing off, those small little frames pull apart really easy and they're just made really cheap. So this will hold it together really nicely. I go ahead and just hot glue that down onto the burlap fabric and then let that dry. I almost added a nautical rope hanger, but then after I just got it together, I really liked how it was and did exactly what I wanted to by just emphasizing that artwork and making it look like a nicer piece. Before we go on any further in this video, I do want to give a huge thank you to Skillshare because they are sponsoring this video and supporting my channel, and they have a really awesome deal for you all. If you've never heard of Skillshare, it is an online learning community that offers thousands of online classes that are perfect and built for real life. So whether you are wanting to brush up on techniques of a hobby that you already love to do, or you are wanting to learn brand new stuff to advance your career, they definitely have a class for that. A strong community is very important in these tough times, and we all need a little bit of encouragement to keep ourselves going, and Skillshare is just a great way to grow and connect with fellow creators. I really do love exploring all of these fun artistic classes that they offer, especially watercolors. That just always catches my attention. I think they are so beautiful. Right now, I am enjoying the class Modern Watercolor Techniques by Katelyn. Her classes are always so relaxing and her paintings are gorgeous, and she breaks them down so easy so that even all of us can do it. For the first 1,000 of my subscribers that go and click that link down below, you can receive a 2-month free membership for the premium membership from Skillshare so that you can go and try it out for yourself. And I know all of us as creative people who love to make things and DIY have so much fun using Skillshare. I know a lot of you all are starting blogs and wanting to do a crafting YouTube channel, and they have tons of classes on editing and filming and photography and just everything that you need to know for starting a YouTube channel. But like I say, go click that link down below. I know you're gonna love it. 2 months free, and then after that it's as cheap as $10 a month. So perfect for everyone, and most of their classes are under 60 minutes so that it can fit into everyone's schedule. So go click that link down below and let's go on into the next DIY. If you've been watching any of my recent videos, you know that I have been in love with using these little Dollar Tree trays for different things. I've used them for actual trays and kind of for different decor pieces, but one of my favorite things to use them for is just to turn them around backwards and make them like little signs so they look like the high-end little wooden signs that you see everywhere. Ross and TJ Maxx and at home and Home Goods, everywhere has like these chunky little gorgeous farmhouse signs, and that's kind of what I'm going for here. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint this with some white chalk paint, and don't worry about the stars because I am going to be covering those up, but I did try to make sure that I painted or rubbed my brush on the inside because they were like the paint was dripping through on the sides. So after I get it completely covered, I'm using some acrylic paint. I just couldn't find any elephant colored chalk paint at the time that I was filming this, so I'm just going to go ahead and use some of my acrylic. It works really well on top of the chalk paint, and it's pretty much the same difference whenever you are distressing. So I'm just barely adding a little bit of this color into there because I am going to be adding some letters and I don't want to take away from the words. I'm going to be using some of this Hobby Lobby ribbon. I picked this up for, well, it originally says $7.99, but I got it on sale and it says 30 feet of this gorgeous black and white buffalo check ribbon. I fell in love with using this last fall, and it's just something that I've incorporated to my home for my everyday projects or everyday home decor, and I just love using it, and I'm sure this will definitely be in all of my fall DIYs because I am still loving it. I liked more of the gray and white buffalo check last year, decor, but just like I said, during fall I just really liked it, and I've just been buying more pieces with that. But it is hard to find a ton of pieces with the black and white buffalo checked on it. That's not exactly fall or Christmas decor piece. So I thought it would be fun to make a little sign that I could use all year, but definitely could go on little trays or shelves or anything whenever you are decorating for fall. So the first thing I wanted to do was cover up those little stars on the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and just hot glue this ribbon. It fit perfectly all around the edges, and then I'm going to make a cute little bow to go on the top. I know everyone is not all about the bows. I definitely am. I love cutesy home decor, but if that is not your thing, you definitely could skip the bow. You could also use a twine bow or maybe a solid burlap bow if you didn't want it to pop or be as dramatic. To make my ribbon, I just roll over a piece of ribbon to make a little loop and then add a little piece for the tails, and I like to tie them in the center with a piece of jute twine because you just feel like you have more control than whenever you are twisting it with wire or something. And then after I got it like I liked it, I went ahead and hot glued that onto the top and then trimmed down the little tails of the bow. And then for the wording, I'm going to be adding stickers. You definitely can use the Dollar Tree stickers. I'm just using these that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. Like I say, you see the price on there, but I always get everything on sale, so it's really inexpensive. You can use the Dollar Tree stickers. I'm just using these because I get tired of every single one of my DIYs having the same font, the Dollar Tree stickers. So definitely feel free to cut something out on your vinyl machine, or I love to shop Hobby Lobby for different fonts just to keep them on hand, so whenever I am making projects like this, they do look a little bit different. And then I'm just sketched out a while. I love mixing different fonts, so I have the print and then I have the cursive. I sketched this out with a pencil. You can see that I ended up not tracing it 100% because it was kind of closer than I thought, and I go ahead and erase the pencil that was showing through, and then I think it looks a lot nicer if you go back in with the paint marker and just kind of thicken up some of those lines, and it just makes it like a nicer piece. But this is how it came together. I think it is gorgeous for just $1 from Dollar Tree. If you already have the ribbon on hand, I think it is so beautiful and just a fun little staple piece to keep on a shelf. And for the next DIY, I'm using this little eyelash wooden sign. I hope that my Dollar Tree brings out more of these or more signs that is this size. I thought it was so funny when I flipped it over. It had a little glue dot on it that kind of looked like a little nose. I'm going to be using the back because I love that little wooden frame. I go ahead and remove the sawtooth hanger at the top and then paint this with some of my white chalk paint. I am going to be covering over the eyelashes, so don't worry about getting too close to them. I just mainly focus on the outside little frame and then the edges of this sign. Because this was just super bright white, I wanted to stress the edges just a little bit, and some of that natural wood color shows through, and I think that just makes pieces look gorgeous. So I just did that. Make sure your paint is dry so all of the sanding dust does not stick. And then I know this is from Hobby Lobby, but I love this little piece. It was really inexpensive. I got this on sale too, and it's this beautiful little wooden bucket hanger piece that would hold like florals. I was going to put it on this sign, and you'll see that I do end up having to turn the sign upside down because it wasn't covering the lashes exactly like I wanted. But I'm going to go ahead and paint this. I wanted this to look like a little galvanized tub or a little wash tub or just something really like metal-like. So I'm painting this with the steel color, and then once again I'm going to be going over this with the elephant dark color just to give it more detail and make it look rustic and weathered. I find when distressing, it's very important to pay attention to the edges, so I kind of like dip my paintbrush and then drag it along the edges first so that more paint is getting applied to the ends and the edges, and then I can drag like a lighter amount of paint across the middle. I just think it looks more realistic and better. You can see the before and after you distress and what a huge difference that it makes and how much nicer that it looks. I am going to be putting some plants in here, so you're not going to see most of the backing, but I did want to go ahead and do that just in case I want to change this out later on. And this is what I was talking about. Some of the holes of the eyelashes were showing through, so I did have to end up flipping this upside down, but I was so excited and lucky that this did fit. I use hot glue most of the time for my videos. I love using hot glue, but definitely feel free to use a wood glue because these are 2 wood pieces. And then I'm using some lamb's ear. I just think lamb's ear looks so nice and high quality, and it's just a really inexpensive way to kind of upgrade your Dollar Tree projects. This lamb's ear actually came from Walmart, and it's just a couple dollars for a couple stems of it, but it really goes really far. So I am using, this is probably $2 worth and then an extra one, so $3 I guess, and I'm all the time switching them around from project to project, especially in little buckets and baskets like this. And then to make this look more decorative, I wanted to add this cotton that I found at Dollar Tree. I was so excited to find some of this. I know everybody was using it last year and I never could get my hands on it, and of course online you have to order like a million of them, so I didn't end up ordering these, but I was super excited to find them, and I didn't want to wait for fall to use them. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. But I think this is like definitely a piece you can use all year, but it will go into the fall, and then I can also just kind of tuck down some little fall berries if I want to even make this more colorful for fall. And then I wanted this to be a little bit of extra detailed. I know that's my favorite part of projects, is after I put them together just to see what I can kind of add. I know it's not for everyone. Some people don't like adding the bows or so many beads, and just definitely feel free to make any of my projects your own and customize anything that you like. So I found some of these little hair beads from Dollar Tree, and I just strung them on a little piece of jute twine, and then I'm going to dry brush over them with white so that they will pop off of that gray. I don't end up using them the first way that I intended to. I thought I was going to string these along the front, and you'll see I actually do go ahead and glue them down, but I will be trading them up in just a tiny bit. But this definitely is real life and how my brain works whenever I am crafting, because I always don't go with what I originally thought that I was going to do. I actually liked my small beads hot glued in the front, and then I thought to make this piece look nicer and larger, because that planter is kind of small on the sign, I wanted it to have like a nicer, larger hanger, so it would kind of be all evened out. But after I added the bigger beads to the top, which I still really like, I just thought it kind of clashed with the smaller beads in the front, how they were kind of strung all the way across, and I didn't like them. First I go ahead and make a burlap bow, and then you'll see how I take those beads off and cut them down and end up making like little tassels instead. I ended up cutting that string of beads in half and then tying a knot at the bottom and kind of fraying the little strings at the bottom, and then I hot glue both of them to the top. I did intentionally make them different sizes so they will hang at different levels, but I thought that was way cuter. You'll have to let me know which version that you liked better, but I just thought the string of beads kind of clashed with the string of the beads at the top. But they're still beads, but it kind of like puts them in a different direction and makes them look a lot different than they originally did. I go ahead and just glue the bow over the top of there so you don't see that big blob of hot glue, and tuck everything down nicely. And I go ahead and cut off the tails so that this does look like a nice polished piece. And then that is how this little DIY came together. I think it is an adorable piece that, like I say, definitely could be switched out for every season. Thank you all so much for coming along and joining me today. I had so much fun putting these projects together. I really hope you all enjoyed them. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed because I love making DIY and home decor videos like this all the time, and you don't want to miss it because I'm always trying to come up with new ideas and make new fun decor. Don't forget about that Skillshare link. I'll leave that down below, and just a friendly reminder, the first 1,000 of my subscribers that do click that link down below can receive the 2-month free premium membership, and then after that, like I said, it's under 10 bucks. So I just know that you're going to love it, so make sure you go check that out. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye.